Yeah, water.
We don't need it. Cool. Thanks. How you holding up?
Fine.
Good. Okay. So, first of all, let's talk about just shooting here in this hotel. Is it kind of a kick for you? Have you ever done anything like this here before? Or?
No, I really like looking at the where you walk up and check in. It just, you can just see the ghosts everywhere because there's all these empty slots, and you just feel like they were constantly filled and unfilled, filled and empty. It's fun to see. I really see movement there when I look at it. It doesn't look vacant. And, you know, this is an abandoned building for those watching who don't know, but you can, it's like looking at a chessboard or something where there's movement even though the pieces are staying still. And that's what I see when I see where all those keys were supposed to go. It's really, I think I should take a picture of it before I leave.
Yeah, yeah. Does that add to the vibe when you're in a place like this? I know you've recorded albums in hotels, and you guys have kind of situated yourselves in cool places. Does that add to what you're doing?
Yeah, of course. I mean, that's the energy of the place, is the energy that fuels you while you're doing what you're doing in it, whether it's recording music or whether it's performing in a video. It's the energies around you that are getting inside of you and moving you. So yeah, I mean, hopefully we'll make a pretty pretty ghost oriented video, you know. I hope it's like I hope it's filled with the energy of ghosts.
Do you enjoy the performance aspect of videos? You've done a number of them. Do you get a kick out of doing the work, doing the performance part of it?
It's fun. It's always surprisingly tiring. I'm always like, okay, this one I'm not going to jump around too much, and then I go crazy. So it's but yeah, it's a lot of fun. The performance part is really fun. I especially like it when I'm doing it with the other guys in the band. When you're by yourself, it's a different feeling. I mean, I can do it, but it's extra exciting when there's people to work off of.
And talk about this song. This song's going to be on this greatest hits, going up against some of the greatest hits. Is that daunting, putting a new song together that's going to be on an album with the best of? Do you think about things like that when you're compiling this stuff?
Yeah, we think about everything, but we were contractually obligated to give them 2 new songs, and in my opinion, we didn't even give them the best 2 songs of the session, but one of them was the song they wanted, and they said they only wanted to release 1 single, so we had to take the other song that we thought could be a good single, and we're going to save it for our next record, and we just put a song that we feel is a great song, but at the same time couldn't be a single, because they only plan on releasing 1 single. So yeah, so that's the way that worked out. I feel fine about it. I mean, these days people put greatest hits on. People put extra songs on greatest hits just as a selling point to people who already have the rest of the material. But we also put some other nice things in the package, like pictures that are great pictures that I haven't seen in 10 years, you know, or good pictures from the whole history of my being in the band, and so those are nice, and there's some liner notes that Flea and I wrote, and those are nice. I wrote a little about my experience with radio and the different ways that it's been important to me throughout my life, and at the same time advising people to find out about music in other ways other than radio and other than TV, you know. Like asking cool people what music they like, or you know, buying records because of the cover, or finding out who the musicians you like what musicians they like and that sort of thing.
Do you enjoy the process of looking back? It seems like you enjoy those processes of being able to do the liner notes and look at the photos, but doing this kind of forces you to kind of look back over the years. Is that enjoyable generally, or is it something you don't tend to do normally?
I've gotten past the point of my life where I'm looking over my past. I think it was probably all I thought about around just before, a few months before I joined the band again. I was very bitter about the past and very regretful and very I so badly wanted to live in an alternate fate to the one that I had developed for myself. I wanted to live in a fate where I had made different decisions earlier in my life and where things would have winded up differently. And I wanted to be that John Frusciante, and I didn't want to be the John Frusciante that I was. And as soon as I joined the band, as soon as I joined the band again, I started to all of a sudden get this feeling like this was the fate of the John Frusciante I did want to be, and I had always seen all these pictures in my head of the way my life could have been, and all of a sudden I was realizing, wait, those pictures might be the way things are going to be. They were the way things are going to be, and at that point I started getting pretty excited, and we started writing all that music for Californication and stuff, and it, for me, ever since that experience, I stopped reflecting on the past. Now, if I do, it's just in a nostalgic kind of way, like seeing these pictures. Oh, that was a fun time, or whatever, or what an asshole I look like in that picture. I can look at it a lot less. I don't have to be so serious about it. I can look at it as if it was what it is, a past which can't be altered, which is, before I used to always think of the past, I used to try to figure out ways of changing the past. And I actually spent a lot of time trying to do this. And now I just do my best to do what I can to make the future good, and do what I can to change the present in a good way, and to always try to do something different and surprising.
And make some of the best music of your career. Put into words what you think the chemistry is, you four guys, and why this works so good, if you can, as to why things are better than ever, it seems like, for you guys.
Well, we just have a good thing together, It's not the kind of thing anybody really understands. But it's the kind of thing that that when you appreciate it, and when you really see it for what it is, you just feel really thankful to be in that position of being with three other people who you gel so good with, and there's really not much you can say about it. We all are very different as people, and we all aren't afraid to be ourselves, and I think it's a big part of it. I don't think you could get this kind of musical chemistry in a situation where one person is dominating the other people. It's got to be a situation where each person feels free and comfortable to be themselves, and to follow whatever paths of ideas they get. The other people make it possible for them to see those things through, and to me that's the sort of thing that helps keep things going in a situation like this. We're definitely not perfect all the time. On the last album, I definitely had times where I felt like very separate from everybody else, and where I might have been dominating situations more than I should have been. But you live and you learn. At the time, that's not what it felt like. But looking back, I think I was being a little too headstrong. but I come by it honestly. My father was a little Armstrong. My mother was a little headstrong.
But that led to a lot of personal.
The Headstrongs married the Armstrongs.
There you go.
And darkies were born.
But acclaim for you personally, where people are saying so many good things about your work, from the vocal harmonies to your guitar work to your writing, a lot of it directed towards you. How much of that did you appreciate, where people were kind of singling you out and saying just how much you contributed to By the Way and the new music?
At the time, I didn't really agree, but looking back, I guess it's true. Looking back, listening to it, I can hear that, especially because of the large amount of backing vocals, that you notice me a lot on it. But I think Flea probably wrote a lot more than people imagine he did, you know. I think we still wrote half and half as far as the music. I'm not sure, I've never added it up, but, you know, I think he wrote a lot more than people think he did. Yeah.